You are who?
I'm Rodney King's first baby mother.
And you hearing about what happened, what's your accountability of the last time you talked to him up till now today?
I think there's a little foul play going on somewhere.
And why would you say that?
Due to insurance policy that she had put out on him.
And when you say she, you mean the fiance?
Yes, fiance.
How long have you known about this policy?
I just found out about it today.
And when was the last time you talked to him about that?
I actually haven't talked to him about it, but he did bring it up a little bit, and I felt that it wasn't necessary for her to do that. And she wanted him to also sign the house over into her name, which I didn't feel that was right.
Now, when was the last time you spoke to Mr. King?
Last week. And
if you don't mind, what was it about?
Just about having a barbecue for his kids. Looking for Father's Day, spend kids with his grandkids and his children.
So he was looking forward to Father's Day?
Yes.
So definitely not foul play. So obviously you're feeling foul play, and that's coming from basically the fiance?
Yes.
Anything else you would just like to say in this time of mourning to the kids and to the public that's hearing about this?
I just think it's sad that his kids had to spend Father's Day this way.
Last night, as far as you know of, you said it was pretty quiet. Can you just give us an account of just you waking up and finding out what happened today?
This morning, it was devastating news. Terrible. My ex-husband came and told me, you realize Rodney just died. I said, what? I still can't accept it. It's like, I feel like I'm going to go out there and see him. Wandering around or mowing the front yard. He used to come and mow the yard because my ex-husband is crippled. And he would bring barbecue over for Dick. And he was really genuinely a nice person.
And you said your husband and him was best friends.
Yes.
Can you just explain sometimes that you felt that he was out here? Did he seem depressed or in these last days, or feeling pretty good?
Oh, he was feeling pretty good. No, he was out mowing the lawn just a couple days ago, and Dick had just talked to him about fixing his car, and so something with the clutch, and he was doing very well. Oh, I don't think he was depressed. And I had seen him, and he looked good to me.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Captain Randy DeAnda of the Rialto Police Department. With me is a press information officer, Detective David Shepard. So I just got through speaking in depth with the supervisor that runs our detective bureau, and the investigators are involved in this drowning investigation. We have spoken at length with Rodney's fiance, so we pretty much have an idea of what the investigation is going to reveal. The only added information I have to add is that there will be an autopsy performed by the San Bernardino County Coroner's Office first thing in the morning in regards to the drowning, and they will release any other information on their findings with the exception of the toxicology report. Is there any questions I can answer?
So, Captain, you're calling this a drowning investigation. Can you explain to us why it's a drowning investigation at this point still?
Yeah, we have no other information or any other evidence that would lead us to believe that this was not a drowning.
Any alcohol, drugs, or paraphernalia down here, or anything of that sort?
There, to the best of my knowledge from talking to the investigators involved, there was no obvious outward signs of any alcohol presence during the investigation, and or any controlled substances that might indicate that it was involved. However, once the coroner determines if there was, we'll release that information.
Any indication from the fiance that they
At this time, no.
Captain, did the fiance know how to swim, and did she attempt to get him from the water?
That's one of the questions that were asked, and the fiance is not a good swimmer. She chose to dial 911. She did make several attempts to try and pull him out of the pool, but was unable to. However, she was very thankful that the two police officers that responded actually went into the pool, both of them, to rescue Rodney King.
What was his face outside of the water?
It appears that he was totally unresponsive.
Any physical trouble?
No, it wasn't uncommon for Mr. King to be an avid swimmer. There was also some footage I just saw earlier that depicted him on a surfboard for physical therapy purposes, where he was quite the swimmer and swam daily. No, they didn't. The paramedics continued to try to resuscitate him and immediately transported him over to Arrowhead Regional Medical Center in Colton, where he was later pronounced deceased, and that was about 6:11 a.m. She did make a reference to a friend of Mr. King and her, the fiance, and that she had actually driven him home earlier in the night.
About what time?
The time, I don't have the specific time he was driven home.
Captain, some of the neighbors also said there was some commotion or a party. There was someone sobbing in the backyard. There's also reports that she may be trying to get him inside. Have you heard anything about that?
I've heard some reports that there was some type of argument. However, the information that I've received from the investigators and from the fiancée herself this morning, there was no evidence and there is no indication from neighbors, any other people that were inside of the residence, that there was in fact some type of commotion or argument. Those details I have not been able to determine as factual. There was no physical trauma to his body. However, the autopsy will reveal that if there was. But any obvious signs of any trauma to Mr. King, there was none found. So, at this time, with the information I've received from the investigators and the detective supervisor, that there is no obvious signs of any foul play. Usually, the toxicology usually takes about 6 to 8 weeks. It's being investigated as a possibility. However, the information we're receiving from the fiancé that suicide is probably most likely not a factor in this drowning.
Was he on any known medications?
Medications, I'm not familiar or aware of any particular medications that Mr. King may have been taking.
Was she taking him for questioning?
She voluntarily came in to speak with the investigators. She was not detained, nor was she questioned as a potential suspect or interested party in this drowning.
What was her emotional state like?
Very, very emotional, and that was evident when I got here this morning. I happened to be the one that gave the death notification to her, and she was very distraught. To my knowledge, he has not been interviewed. We are still trying to locate him so we can obtain an interview from him.
So you understand there was just one other person here? There wasn't a group of people?
No, just the one person.
So 3 people in the house?
Yes, the fiancé, Mr. King, and a friend of his, or a mutual friend of theirs.
One thing I'm unclear on, I mean, there was a gathering obviously the night before, and the person went home. Did Mr. King come into the house at any point at night?
That I do not know, but I wouldn't be able to comment on that because I didn't have that information on whether or not they were in and out of the house. I know that it's not uncommon for Mr. King to be poolside during these hours on the weekends.
Did they say what time you got in the pool this morning?
No.
So what was the threat when he had called? She heard the splash, and how long after she heard the splash was she asleep when she heard that splash?
The details as to exactly what she was doing at the time she heard the splash, whether she was sleeping, whether she was relaxing, where she was at inside the house, is part of the investigation. However, it was not a factor in the drowning. She immediately notified us, and as to the friend, at the time of her notification via 911, the friend had already been driven home and dropped off hours before by the fiancé.
You know what time?
That I do not know.
I mean, was it like early morning, like 2 or 3 a.m., or was it
I heard it was late p.m.
late p.m.?
Yes.
Did the fiance say that he knew how to swim?
That Mr. King knew how to swim? Yes, she told me, her words was that he was an avid swimmer.
Sorry, Captain, the exact time of the call, the 911.
The 911 call came in at 5:25 a.m. this morning, and the time of pronouncement of death was 6:11 a.m. this morning. All right.
Was there anything on the pool deck unusual or private?
No, there was nothing unusual on the pool deck.
Aside from the coroner's autopsy results, what's left to investigate from Rialto
Well, obviously, we'll always continue to further investigate as any information or any new information comes about. But obviously, the detectives will be working with the coroner's office to determine the actual cause of death.
How long was he in the water?
From the time that the fiancé had dialed 911, and from the time the officers arrived, we're looking at least 3 to 4 minutes.
How was he dressed? Was he in a bathing suit or street clothes?
There was a bathing suit that was worn by Mr. King, and the exact cause, we don't know if it was a medical issue that he was experiencing, or we don't know if it was an accident where he may have fallen, and that'll all be determined when the investigation is completed.
Were there any videos and cameras inside the home?
To my knowledge, there's no video surveillances depicting the pool area, the interior of the house, or the exterior of the house.
You being a friend and things like that, did it seem like he would get into a pool, somehow end up at the bottom of a pool, or does it seem like it maybe could have been an accident, or what do you feel right now?
I'm thinking maybe an accident or something, because as far as I know, Rodney, he used to come up in Altadena, and we used to go to Altaloma to the park, and we used to swim all the time, so he was he was a good swimmer, and so I don't know, but it's just a sad day, to hear this situation, the way everything is turning,
Because today is not only Father's Day, but it's also, to me, it's Rodney King Day. Okay, and Rodney King went through a lot of trials and tribulations. He survived the beating of the Los Angeles Police Department with police brutality, but also Rodney King changed history. He was a part of the civil rights struggle. He was a reason why the police department was investigated by Internal Affairs, the FBI, and the Justice Department. Most of all, let's remember those very famous words that Rodney King said on that day when he came to the microphone. Can't we all just get along? God bless you. Eddie Jones, President of the Los Angeles Civil Rights Association.